Citizens of the Republic, hello and welcome to ROG Pulse. I'm your host, Jake Kalinsky, and today we are talking about mice. We're just kind of stepping back to the basics and talking about how to pick the mice that's right for you, the mouse that's right for you, as we do offer quite a few different ones. And in fact, I myself have been using a few different mice recently, and it's nice to just kind of be like, well, which one do I prefer? Jeff, which one do you prefer? Guys, I'm joined here once again by Jeff Kempman. How are you?
Hey, Jake, I'm doing great.
Van,
Back in my
you're home?
back in my lab. Yeah.
It's
Although you can't see it.
yeah, sometimes it's nice to mix things up. You got to visit our office for a
Yeah.
change and get your hands on some new tech. The S17 last week is what we
Mhm.
dove in and talked about. Beautiful new laptop.
hmm
But
This week, it's all about the mice.
shifting gears, yeah. So
And, mice plural. Means why stop at just one?
right, of course. Typically, yeah, we tunnel vision on a single item in a show, and we just go ham. We just dive in, we go deep. And I've been using the Keris Wireless, so we can just kind of show it right here.
Mhm.
I've got a Keris Wireless in front of me.
Yep.
I've been using that. The other one that I think I'm just going to say right now that I prefer is actually the Gladius II. Now, there's a Gladius III,
Yeah.
and that's
Yep.
kind of where this conversation started. It's like, okay, well, we've rehashed the Gladius. It's like, I want that. I'm trying to
Mhm.
convince you to send me one. Been trying for weeks now. I'm like, okay, if we do a show, maybe we can
Yeah.
get this going. But
Oh yeah, we can make it happen. But first, we're gonna show.
Now we've got both mice there on your desk.
So yeah, here's our. I also have a Keris Wireless here, but I also have the Gladius III Wireless here on the left. And what we're going to do is, I think, discuss a little bit about how these are different, why you might want to choose one over the other. We also have a third mouse that we like that unfortunately we don't have with us tonight. It's the ROG Chakram.
Mm-hmm.
Which is distinctive because of its side-mounted joystick, which can be used in analog or digital modes. So it can be used like a standard analog controller, or you can set it up as a four-way and assign some button movements to that. But yeah, these are the mice we do have. So
now,
yeah, I think mice are, they are the most personal, like next, maybe even more so than the keyboard. They are the most personal choice of hardware. Input hardware that you can make, because they're all so much different. There are different weights, there are different shapes, everybody's hands are different.
different, width,
And
length, you name it. Like it's some of them kind of arc down more, some kind of arc up in the front. And it's that variance when if you go into your friend's house or you go to your brother's room or whatever and you pick up their mouse, you might be like, ugh. And it's,
and not just because of the gamer scum on it.
Yeah, because of, yes, of course. But also just, in general, the design of the mouse might feel completely foreign. Well, you got red from that joke. Okay, good.
Oh yeah, you get to see my my superpower
To turn red.
turn into a crab. Yeah.
Turn into a crab. Okay, Kani. That means crab in Japanese for the non-weebs out there.
I think the we're talking about different shapes. So the Keris Wireless is kind of our I think let's talk a little bit about mouse grips. The three common ones people have are the fingertip, the fingertip grip, like so.
Mm-hmm.
I think the claw grip, where you have like the back of your hand against the like the palm rest, but your fingers are still like so.
Yep.
And then you have the palm grip, where it's very much
your hand is kind of
in
sitting
the palm of your hand. Yeah. Right. So you can see, like with the Keris Wireless, like this is a relatively small mouse. It's sort of narrow. So this is our lightweight, sort of esports focused mouse.
So
let's
just talk. You mentioned it's an esports focused mouse. This is a mouse that we see be really popular with a lot of FPS players, a lot of younger gamers as well. I think Booga is one of the players that from Fortnite that really popularized just like lightweight mice in general. He talks a lot about just having a lightweight mouse to be able to, do the 360 no scopes or pretty much all the movement that you could want. It's just easier with that lighter form factor for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think the way, I'm gonna, I'm not gonna claim I'm an elite gamer here at all, but the way people move their mouse, like you and I are probably like very much within this narrow range of motion on the desk, and pros are like, ooh.
Right, they're gonna have
Yeah.
the lower sensitivity so that they have to
big sweeping motions,
more elbow
actually,
movement than anything else,
yeah,
really. Like
it's more precise,
much more
I
precise
think, in practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, when you don't want to be slinging around a ton of weight, because not only is it harder to get it moving, it's harder to stop it or switch direction. And so this lighter weight mouse it's just easier to do that with. And if you're fingertip gripping, that's, again, this doesn't like stretch your fingers out unduly. So it's really easy. It's really nice to get that grip on it, or a palm, actually, for me. So, but yeah, this is also sort of a hard wearing mouse. Like, a really unique feature on it is these PBT buttons on the main buttons here. I got to be careful because this is actually plugged into my PC and I'm clicking things and I don't know what I can press next. But yeah, if you've ever used a PBT keyboard, you know that PBT plastic has a different sort of texture and feel to it than ABS, like even coated ABS. It's very dry. It's very grippy. And so, again, I think it's kind of ingenious. Not only does it feel better under your fingers, but it actually allows you to, your fingertips to be more engaged in the grip on this mouse. Versus, different mice. It's a very unique feature there.
A lot of it's preference. So, I mean, I'll be completely honest. I have big gorilla hands, and they don't necessarily love this mouse just because, like, I wouldn't say that it's to the point where my hands cramp, but for me, I'm used to more of a Gladius body. And again, when you look at the side by side, the Gladius is a little bit fatter, it's a little bit wider. It fits my hand a bit better. And although I think I do prefer the lighter weight, I'm not going to get that with the bigger body. So it's you got to pick your battles.
Yeah, we can put these again side by side, and you can sort of see that the Gladius III on the left here has a wider, rounder, sort of pear-shaped component to it, but it's also slightly taller. I'll try and get these in a position where you check out the RGBs on the side too.
Yeah, that's new. The laser engraved on the side where we got the RGBs coming through. That's something new to the 3.
You can see again. I'll try and get these on a level where you can.
Yeah, we can see it.
You can see that the Keris. You can see that the Keris is a lower, sleeker profile, whereas the Gladius III is not. Again, it's not only wider in the back for those palm grippers out there, but it's got this more pronounced arch to it. So yeah, and the main buttons, your fingertips actually end up higher off the desk. So again, maybe a more neutral position for some people. You can get this nice.
The grip is really nice.
This nice big rubberized element on the side here.
Yeah.
The back and forth buttons fall really nicely under the thumb. And yeah, personally, again, I like this mouse more as well, which is part of the reason I've been so reluctant to give it up.
You pushed something.
Yeah. Let me fix that.
Yeah.
We're get the whole mirrors. There's my face. Okay. Anyway,
so behind the scenes of the production here.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is, again, I think, again, you can look and see. We have the slightly slanted, so if your hand rests more naturally on it. So yeah, it's I like this shape a lot.
It's good to point out these are both mice that we do offer in wireless form. So the Keris, I think, is actually wireless only, and the Gladius.
I think it's wired and wireless alike.
So when you purchase it wireless, it actually comes with a really long USB Type-C cable that plugs into it, so that you can use it wired. But of course, that's also for charging. So when your battery starts to get low on the Keris or the Gladius, all the lights are gonna like pulse like red. The RGB will change to red.
Blink. Yeah, they will blink red. It's unmistakable when these mice
are
like, low on battery.
Oh man, I need to get some juice in that.
Yeah. But you can see from the front here too, both have USB Type-C ports for charging, which I love because I'm like trying to rid my house of anything that doesn't have a Type-C port. And they're really easy to charge. But yeah, that cable, which unfortunately I don't have in front of me, is it's very flexy, very lightweight. So even if you do forget to charge these and you need to run them off the PC, it's just like having a premium mouse cord
Right.
on your wired mouse. So you're really not losing anything in the equation by going wireless, except a couple more bucks, but I think it's well worth it.
One of the questions on YouTube is the pricing for these mice. I believe the Keris is $79.99 and the Gladius III is $89.99.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly certain on that.
It may be, they may be a little more expensive. You'd want to check the retailer pages for the most recent information in your country.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not unreasonably priced for premium gaming mice.
Well, wireless, it's always going to be a little bit more, right?
Too.
That's where I mean, you can get it usually about at least $20 more for wireless, give or take.
Right. So, but yeah, I mean, in the wired modes, a lot of wireless mice also kind of stop at having just the 2.4 gigahertz band on them. So you have to have the dongle with you at all times.
Right.
And, we have these little docks here for it. So it's not inconvenient to take it with you. But if you just want to leave it plugged into your PC, you can also just flip it over to Bluetooth mode here. You can, it doesn't actually switch color right now.
Man, I'm such a noob. I never realized that was a dock for the dongle. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, you can switch these over to Bluetooth mode, and you can pair them with, like, let's say you have a desktop and a laptop, and you just want to use the laptop for web browsing things, and you don't really care about latency and all that so much, which again is just an inherent feature
home theater,
Bluetooth.
PC, stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. You just flip it over, and you're in Bluetooth, paired up, and take it wherever. Done.
Man.
So
yeah,
really convenient.
Nice. It's cool to have the options.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's another thing I won't do without in the wireless mouse.
Now
is that versatility.
The Gladius III, I believe at the top there's a switch there that is to lock the USB cable? What is that top switch?
This one right here?
Yeah.
So that's just the Bluetooth mode.
Oh, it is. Okay,
Bluetooth and RF. Yeah.
Okay. It just reminds me of some of our older mice that had like the lock.
Yeah. There's a profile button down here. Like these have multiple programmable profiles.
Like DPI profiles or?
Yeah, where you can say, everything, like your button mapping.
Okay.
Through Armory Crate, all saves to the mouse. I think there are 3, there may be 5. I'd have to check. But either way, you have multiples. You got these nice big Teflon feet.
Yeah.
And yeah. So then I think, there's another button back here, I think, for DPI switching. But,
so that's the DPI switch, where that's one feature that the Gladius III has where the Keris does not. It basically will allow you to swap to a lower DPI sensitivity. And this is something that if you've never used something like this before, this is something that's really nice to use in, say, an FPS. You pick up a sniper rifle and you want to suddenly drastically drop your DPI on your mouse to have, more, subtle accuracy. It's a really nice feature.
Yeah, so they don't have dedicated sniper buttons. I know some mice do, but yeah, if you need to change it quickly, it's right there. On the Gladius III. But the Keras also has a little neat trick of its own, which is this little DPI button.
Can we just rewind that really quick? I want to talk about the dedicated sniper button because, so just comparing this to the Gladius II, right? I have a Gladius II right here. There's the button right here. That's but it's also right here. I hate this one. I push this one on accident all the time. I don't like it. I find this one very easy to press, but that's just me. I don't like the accidental presses I get on this one because it happens to me too often. And I'm curious if that's, we don't have the inside story as to why our engineers removed it for the Gladius III, but I bet you they got that feedback as well because, I mean, I've used the Gladius 2 for probably almost a year of use on this mouse. And I do not like the thumb one. I just don't. So I'm glad it's gone.
Well, and you can, again, Armory Crate controls all. You can remap if you're like, I need a sniper button, and you're like me and you use this back button here to reload. You can remap the front one. You have your reload, you have your sniper, and then it's really.
And you could bind that in the game itself too, right? So it's all up to you. Because I tend to do my melee attacks like the knife with the mouse button 4, the one closer to you.
Yeah. But speaking of DPI, the Keris Wireless has a neat trick. You can hold this DPI button and the LEDs will go solid as they just did. And what that enables is what we call this DPI on the scroll mode. So you can actually raise the DPI. You can see it going higher and lower as I scroll back and forth.
That is really cool.
And this remains active while the mouse is on the desktop. So if you're like, I don't know what a given DPI feels like, and you just want to pick something in this continuous range, you go back and forth with the mouse, get a feel for it. Then once you're done, you just press the DPI button again.
And then it sets it to that.
Yeah,
that's
configured. Unique.
I'm afraid to play with that now though, because I'm going to mess up my DPI and not remember where I was at.
And you can always, you can always sort it out in Armory Crate, so you're good there.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, the Chakram has all these features too. It has DPI on the scroll. Again, I wish I had one here to show you, but the Chakram has DPI on the scroll. It has all the programmable buttons from Armory Crate. It has the high grade optical sensor. These all are optical mice.
Yeah, I'm showing the Chakram off on screen. We can at least look at the website as we don't have one on hand.
Sorry.
One of these days we will get one, but it's definitely
right. That joystick is truly unique. I think.
I mean, this is definitely like a little bit like, this is beyond the normal mouse. It's not trying to be an MMO mouse. It's not that. It's taking the idea of the mouse and the idea of this being like your gaming weapon and giving you one other tool, which is that thumb joystick, which of course you could bind that to be more hotkeys if you want it to be, like up, down, left, right hotkeys, or it could be used for a directional, look in certain kinds of games that could be useful. Driving games, playing with a mouse, you have like something you can look around.
GTA 5 is the game I tell everybody that's what you want it for, because it's like you have to, if you're playing GTA 5, you have to have a controller nearby if you want to do anything with the vehicle, right? And then if you have the analog stick there, it sort of saves you from that on the mouse, because you can just, it's like, oh, I'm getting in a car, I'm going to control the analog elements with the analog stick, steer and all that fun stuff. So
such a cool mouse. Customizable badge. You can swap out the switches.
Has wireless charging, which is unique
on
among our lineup.
The keypad too. Yeah, so you can actually get
your Baltius Chi.
I think I'm gonna get one of those.
Of course, all of these mice, they have AuraSync. They're currently set up to color cycle.
Right.
But if you have a complex color scheme, you can absolutely. I'm actually going to do this real quick, and we'll see if this works.
We'll do it live.
Yep.
Are you firing up Armory Crate? Is that what's happening?
I am using it in the background, and it is.
So there's someone in chat that's even saying they have a Chakram and they prefer that mouse over other mice because it does have the joystick, but it does come with the added weight, which is kind of a drawback.
Right.
Well,
it all depends. If you got big, if you're big, you got a lot of muscle and you want more resistance, or you just like the feel of a chunky mouse. Like I always add weight to my mice. It makes them feel more precise to me for whatever reason.
I'm in the same boat. I do prefer some heft to my mouse.
Again, like that's perfectly legitimate too.
So someone asks, does ROG offer high-end wireless mice with 4 side buttons? I think the Chakram is the closest thing we have.
Yeah, I think that the Chakram is the one you want.
Yeah.
In that case,
it's got the 2 side buttons, and then it's got the joystick, which could be perceived
up, down,
as like 6
up, down, left, right becomes buttons in the digital mode. So.
Jeff, which of our mice use optical switches?
So optical switches are an option in the market right now. None of them come with them by default.
Okay, so they can be slotted
excellent. Yes. So this is an excellent point to dive into where we're going next.
Segue.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to avoid using that word, but we got there. So what I'm going to do now is actually show you a really neat, unique feature. We've got this little baggie here this whole time with a couple of mouse switches in it. And if you're like me, you have a mouse that you really love. And, once you settle on a mouse shape, that's not something you want to change. You're
gonna suck at video games when you change. You got to adjust.
Yeah, right. You don't want to change it. But mice again, you're clicking that left button, tens of thousands of times, probably in a week, and they do wear out. And the average mouse, once that happens, once it starts like not registering clicks, or once it starts double clicking, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, time for the trash can, and then you have to go out and go through the whole like frustrating experience of saying, do they still make it? Does it like
you're looking at eBay for markups, right. And it's like, then you're mad.
That is truly again something people do.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
They love mice so much. Yeah. It's
and a lot of the times they won't keep that same model the same. They'll make some changes to it. Right.
Right. Yeah. I think our mice are our refinements are universally positive, but if again, in the course of usage, if one of these were to, it starts double clicking or whatever, you don't have to toss it. You can just open it up, and the mice switch, the switches are socketed on all of our mice. We have a push fit socket design. You don't even need tools to do this. I mean, you need tools to open the mouse, as we'll demonstrate shortly. But you just open them up, replace the switches, and you're done. It really is that simple. I'm going to show you just how easy that is.
I've never done this. I've never seen this done. I'm excited to learn.
Yeah, and this is the first time for everything, right? So
I probably have 20 mice in my house, so I'm always.
I'm going to shut this off so I don't cause any problem. My handy iFixit tools here, but yeah, these little rubber bits are actually just covering up screws. So I'm going to dig in under the sides here. This is probably easier with a more like blade-like object, but this works well enough. Okay, so those two covers pop out. You can see in there we have two Phillips head screws.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure I have the right socket size, or the right Phillips head size here. Yeah, this is good enough.
What is it? Just the two screws for the whole thing?
Yep, just the two screws.
Wow. Easy peasy.
One.
Doesn't get much easier than that. I guess one screw would be easier, but.
And we also, again, another thing that tends to wear out on mice, obviously, is the feet while I'm doing this. So, but we include extra feet in the box too. So, like, if these were to wear off, again, you just peel off the old ones, add the new ones, you're good. All right, so let's.
We've never done this. We're doing this live. We don't know exactly where to pull on this mouse.
Well, I have an idea.
He's got an idea,
okay, yeah.
but
so you want to get your So you want to get your thumbnail in between this edge here. You can see I've opened it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But from there,
voila, that easy.
Right.
Cool.
So now we can see the insides of the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
You got our battery. We got our side switches here. But again, the star of the show here is really the swappable switches. So I'm going to open up this is the extra switch kit that came with the Gladius III wireless. So the new,
what kind of switches are these?
So these are Omron. These are, I forget the exact name of the Omrons that these are, but they are, I can look at the model actually and tell you that they are D2FPs, D2FP-FNs, which I think is a very common switch. Yeah. So those, yeah, again, and the ones that are installed in the mouse are actually our ROG mouse switches. They have a slightly different feel. I think a slightly crisper feel. You can see there this fancy red design. But if you get in here and, again, it's as easy as that, right? It just comes right out.
That's, yeah.
With this little puller. It's
literally anyone could do this.
Right. So these sockets allow you to use both these three, the ROG switches use this 3-pin design. which you can kind of see. I think maybe I can convince the phone to.
Yeah,
There
we
we
can
go.
see it.
Sorry, now you have to look at my fingers, but it's this 3-pin design. These Omrons have a slightly different.
Okay.
Come on.
The
Yeah, they have a
configuration, the layout.
slightly different pinout. I think they go in, like this. So these have provisions for these 3-pin and the 6-pin switches, which are typical of optical design. So you can swap in any compatible 3-pin or 6-pin switch, but again, just goes like so. Give it a little gentle push down. All the holes lined up. Snaps right in.
How weird would
go.
it be to have two different kind of switches on the left and right?
If you're really into mouse switch feel, these are slightly different. And if you preferred one under your main finger for like a different feel, you could absolutely do it. Like, go nuts. That's the spirit here. You can customize whatever you want. I'm gonna pull the other one, do this other process here too. Again, comes right out. Flip this around. Get it lined up. Give it a push. Ta-da. It goes right back in. You can set these aside. And now there's a little bit of, having watched several people go through this process, there is a bit of a trick to getting this back together. And you want to, I think, align the front of the mouse with, is like get the front of the mouse sort of seated first. There are these big sort of plastic tabs in there. Yeah, there we go. There's a very positive engagement when you get that seated. And really, once you do that, it's back together.
Wow.
Right?
A couple screws.
And then all you have to do, couple screws. That's not the Phillips.
Very cool.
But yeah, I mean, so there you go. Like, if you're used to throwing mice away, like this is just, to me, just makes sense. Like, this is something, I think every mouse should have, but not every mouse does have. Ours do, and it reduces e-waste, it lengthens the life of the mouse. It really wants to show my the back of my hand there, but yeah. So again, put those screws in, get those little covers back in. We'll make sure this still works, but it really is that simple. If it breaks, you can do this like between rounds of your favorite game or whatever.
Playing CS:GO and you die early. It's like, oh, let me swap out the switch. Need my new switches.
You slam it to the desk and screw it up. You can just look at that. Ta-da!
Beautiful. That was so simple.
Now, is it tracking? Yes, it is. Okay, so it fully works. We didn't break anything. But it really is simple. I've never done that before. It's really easy.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the push fit switch socket, which I think, again, is, in addition to the fact that these are just great mice to begin with. I love the shape of the Gladius III. I'm probably going to pick one up for myself, to be honest. That design, it just makes perfect sense. You can see the Keris. The Keris is the same way. It has the same two little rubber bits. Okay, I'm going to do this just because I'm drunk on power now. I know how to.
He's got to open them all.
Procedure. Yeah. Take it all apart.
Don't lose those little feet.
No. Those would be hard to replace. But yeah, you can just go online. I think you can just go online and Amazon or your preferred electronics part supplier will have those Omron switches, and you're good.
Yeah.
If you just want to play with that, them, like keyboard people love to swap out their switches or hot swap. Oh, this one's still on. This is like a lobotomy on a living patient.
Jeez. Okay, same deal.
Yeah.
Gets his thumbnail in there. Or...
Yep. Ta-da. There you go.
Opened.
Same design.
Tiny little body. The Keras. Very cool.
This one, actually, the mechanism for the side buttons is really cool, because you may have seen on the Gladius that they're up on their own sort of daughter board here.
Yeah.
But they're actually in the body of the mouse, and there's the little when you press the side
Oh,
button,
it pushes down on them.
yeah, it pushes down on it, right? You
That's
see that?
interesting.
Yeah, it's a really cool space saving feature. You can see that they have these little the Keris especially has all these little like hexagonal cutouts. They're not on the outside of the shell, but we're reducing weight that way, I think, too. Yeah, it's just as easy as that to get in and out of these. So if you're not like an electronics whiz, if you don't have a soldering iron, it's just dead simple to do that work. And again, you want to kind of get this the front. It's not like you can see here we have these like there are these two rectangular holes, and then on the front of the mouse you have these two tabs, right? You want to get those situated first, and but once you do that, it's dead simple.
So Henry says he's looking for a mouse that works with Aura Sync wirelessly, and I believe all three of these will work with Aura Sync when they're attached wirelessly with the dongle. But is that true for Bluetooth?
I honestly have not tested that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But as long as you use the USB receiver, you will be able to use Aura Sync live, with your wireless mouse, as I'm doing it right now. Let me get the exact weights for you, because the Keris is our lightweight, and I had this all in my head before, but I don't want to tell you incorrectly when I have it right in front of me.
Yeah. And we'll make sure I had a successful surgery on this one too. The rear LEDs.
79 grams for the Keris Wireless.
Yeah.
And actually, the Gladius III is also 79 grams. They weigh the same? They made the Gladius III lighter?
Huh.
That's really exciting. I haven't used the Gladius.
Yeah, they do feel about the same. So you're not really, I mean, if that's true, you're not giving up anything in terms and actually
I'm even more excited about the Gladius III right now.
You can actually see these are both synced up now via Aura Sync. They're solid. I can actually ta-da, color cycle. They're both working over Aura Sync, so you do have that.
Very cool.
Yeah, and again, it's dead simple to switch those out. I'm really as someone who's like, damn the torpedoes, let's tear into things we're not meant to tear into. Those are really easy to. I took apart an HTC Vive once just for the heck of it.
Oh yeah.
It was not a good experience, but this was super easy. So
very enlightening. I learned a little bit about replacing switches today. Hopefully chat learned a little bit about these mice. Obviously there's a lot of different things to consider when it comes to when we're talking about weight. Apparently these are going to weigh the same, but I think in terms of body and heft, you're going to get a little bit more of that feeling with the Gladius III. And if you are looking for the simple, tiny, like glide across the, desk mat, the Keris is definitely geared more towards that. These are both viable mice 1000% for the FPS gamer, right? There's just different preferences, so we make mice for both those kind of preferences. And we're not saying these mice can only be used for FPS, because I'm more of an RTS guy, right? And I've been using these mice to play MOBAs, StarCraft, you name it.
And some people, I mean, people's hand sizes are just different. And if you want like a more portable mouse, or you want one that better fits your hand, maybe the Keris is the right answer for you regardless. So, like I said at the beginning, these are the most personal input device that you will probably use. So it's important to have an option that fits your hand. So
I always tell people, like, the most important things in your PC are probably your mouse, your keyboard, and your display. And people don't think about them as, I mean, granted, you want a good solid PC as well, but every component means so much.
Yeah, don't sleep on displays.
No.
You got a powerful PC and you're still rocking a 60 hertz display, and you're wondering, it's like, why is my gaming performance not what it should be? That's display is like a major human factor that people
10 years ago,
overlook.
that was me. I had like this brand new PC, and I was like, it seems good. And then I like went to, I think I went to a, I don't know if it was a Comic-Con or something, but there was a tournament, and I used one of it was actually an ASUS display, and I think it was probably like 120 hertz at the time. This was probably like 2011, 12, so almost 10 years ago. And I just remember being like, what the heck have I been doing with my computer? Why does it look so bad compared to this computer? And it was all the display. So live and learn, but display makes such a difference.
Yeah. Don't skimp on your input devices.
Very cool, Jeff. Well,
I just I was just double checking this because it didn't. The Keris Wireless is 79 grams. The Gladius III is 89. So there's a 10-gram difference. I don't know. Maybe we're looking at wired or something.
This website lying to me?
I don't know.
This website's lying to me.
I mean, the internet is full of lies, Jake. You got to be careful. You got to watch what you read.
Dang. Okay. Well, good to know. Good to know. So you're getting about 10-gram difference when you're rocking the Gladius 3, which makes sense. I was a little surprised to read that.
You'll be able to experience that for yourself very soon.
Very soon. Very soon. Well, Jeff, any final thoughts before we wrap up tonight?
No. I'm gonna go forward with this enhanced knowledge of like how to maintain my mice, and if I ever wear one out again, I'm gonna be ready.
Swap out.
You really can't do that anywhere else.
Again, guys, that is the Gladius 3 on the left, which just hit the shelves maybe a month ago, not too long ago. And the Keris was the smaller one that we talked about today. The Chakram being the third option, which we don't have one on hand right now, but that has the thumb joystick. Those are really the three big gaming mice that we make. We still make the Impact 2, right? That's one other option. Those are a bit smaller. In fact, we just released a Gundam edition of the Impact 2.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So not saying these are the peripherals. Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff we make, but
these are the big three this year: the Chakram, the Gladius 3, and the Keris
Wireless. Yep. Cool, guys. Well, thank you for your questions during the stream today. Had some really nice questions in the chat. Obviously, these mice are very customizable. So if you do have one, be sure to check out the settings in Armory Crate. We showed you how you can actually change the DPI directly on the mouse without using software at all. Really neat features programmed into that, and just a lot of customization available, period. For me, I guess tomorrow I'm going to be streaming. I think I'm just going to play more Chivalry. There's nothing else. There's no new games coming out that are like oohing and eyeing me, and I'm just like, well, I can cut people's heads off, or I could cut people's heads off. So I'm going to cut people's heads off.
It's very amusing to watch.
I like it, and I like the yelling.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's medieval TF2. If you're into that, you'll be into this. But the Steam Summer Sale is going. I'm gonna have to go look and see like what other titles I can add to my library to increase my backlog further.
I've told myself that I'm like banned from looking at Steam for like the next 2 weeks, whatever it is. I gotta stop. My Steam profile is like disgusting. Like it's annoying to try to find a game in my list manually, so I have to type it in now because my list is too deep. It's I don't know why we do this, and I know I'm not alone here. Of just like it's it's $5. Like I might want to play it. Like I don't know. It's Goat Simulator, sure. Like that looks like a fun 10 minutes. I'll pay $5 for that or whatever. I'm sure many of us have played Goat Simulator because it's hilarious. Yes. But why did I buy that? I mean, I'm not trying to shame Goat Sim, but.
Here's the excuse I always use, which is I need it to benchmark the next thing. I need this to benchmark a particular aspect of gaming performance.
As long as you feel like Yeah, but can you
If
write
you
can you
use
write
that,
that
you can
off?
never-
Are you like writing that off for work at this point?
Oh no, it's just for personal
exactly.
amusement. I'm like, how does this game stress or not stress the given parts of the PC? If you use that justification, you're never going to run out.
Chad is talking about Halo Infinite, and
That's true.
That is going to be fun. I am looking forward to playing Halo Infinite. I have not played a Halo since Halo Reach, so it's been a minute. But
I have not played Halo since before 2010, when someone in my college dorm beat me so bad at it, I was throwing controllers. And then that was it.
That's
Maybe
why
it's time to go back.
You're just like, give me that mouse. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
get this controller out of my hands. Give me a
Yes.
mouse, and then you're like, oh, I'm comfortable again.
Yep.
I respect that. But I did grow up with a lot of controller FPS because I had 4 brothers, so we played a lot of GoldenEye. We played a lot of Halo growing
Oh
up.
yeah. GoldenEye. Oh man.
Different times. We all
Yeah.
have our origin story of how we got here in the PC gaming world. But Jeff, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Any final thoughts?
Yeah. No, go get the mouse that's right for you.
Yeah.
Hopefully we've helped you on that path.
Gladius 3. That's the one for me. Which one do you prefer? Gladius 3?
Definitely the Gladius 3.
So
Although the Chakram might be a close second just because of the versatility of it. I have handled that. I think it's pretty similar to the Gladius 3, but I'm going to have to think long and hard about going and getting the Gladius of my own. So,
very cool. Very cool. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us here on ROG Pulse. We'll see you next time. GG's and take care.